Hello, welcome into my Endgame Strand Hunter build. This is the ultimate Suspend Grandmaster build. I have this built around the 6 Coyote, which gives you a second dodge charge, which means you get an extra slam with Ensnaring Slam because it uses your dodge. So real quick, the cool part about this whole build is that you get 2 shackle grenades to suspend people with, and you get 2 slams to suspend people with. So starting out, you already have 4 ways of suspending immediately from the beginning, and then the rest is just built around getting those 2 things back as fast as you possibly can and staying alive at the same time. With Silk Strike is a great high damage super ability. One thing that's often overlooked with Silk Strike is that it forces you to use grapple while you are in the super. So make sure that if you're a little too far away, you remember that you now have grapple instead of shackle on. You can go in your super and grapple towards the enemy immediately. This does really high damage and does a great ad clear. I use Marksman Dodge. This is really to reload my heavy when I need a quick reload. Triple Jump. Threaded Spike. This is useful for getting your abilities back using mods that when melee damage is done, you get your class ability back or you get your grenade back, things like that. And then the Shackle Grenade. This suspends targets, which is the main point of the build. Aspects or Widow's Silk. You have an additional grenade charge. Ensnaring Slam. Activate your air move to consume your class ability energy and dive to the ground, suspending all nearby targets on impact. Using this ability extends class ability cooldown time. So that's one thing to realize, that Marksman Dodge, while it is a faster cooldown than Gambler's Dodge, that is kind of irrelevant when you're running the slam. But I do like the reload. Also, another thing about the slam is that the area of effect is pretty small, much smaller than the Shackle Grenade. So just to keep that in mind, you have to be pretty close. Fragments, I'm using Thread of Mind. Defeating suspended targets grants class ability. Thread of Generation, dealing damage, generates grenade energy. Thread of Continuity, suspend, unravel, and sever effects applied to targets have increased duration. This increases it by a significant amount, and you can really feel when you're not running this. Thread of Warding, picking up an orb grants Woven Mail. This is really our only defensive fragment that we have the option of using, so I take it to get as much Woven Mail as possible. For stats on the build, 100 Resilience is necessary in Grandmasters. Then I focus Discipline and Mobility. For weapons, I'm using Revision 0 as a barrier champion breaker. A Void Shotgun with Repulsor Brace. I'm using this to get overshields on Void debuffed targets, and I'm getting Void debuffed by picking up an orb and getting it volatile. And then Retrofit Escapade, Force Time the Charm, Target Lock. Then for my Scepter, I'm using Authorized Mods Strand, Authorized Mods Void, Authorized Mods Grenade, Shatter Orbs, Bricks from Beyond, Defiant Armory, Origin Hones, Volatile Flow, and Counter Weave. And as for mods, this is how I was set up for the Mars Heist Battleground, using Void Siphon, Heavy Ammo Finder, Kinetic Siphon. That's because I'm getting kills with my Revision 0 Kinetic and a ton of kills with Retrofit Escapade. So this makes a lot of orbs. Then Focusing Strike grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a melee attack. And Bolstering Detonation grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade. Then Grenade Kickstart. When your grenade energy is fully expended, you gain grenade energy. Then for this particular GM, I used Solar Resistance and Melee Damage Resistance. Melee for the final boss, really, and Void Reserves for my Retrofit Escapade. Then because I'm Strand, I don't need to run any surges for this particular GM because it is Machine Gun Overcharge and Void, and then I'm Strand, so my Kinetic is overcharged as well. So all my weapons are already overcharged, so I don't need a surge. So then I get to run Absolution, Better Already, and Recuperation. And then on my class item, I'm running Reaper, Bomber, Distribution. One thing that's really great about this mod setup is that I don't have anything that's decaying the armor charge over time. So no surge mods or mods that decay the armor charges. So if I get 3 orbs, I get 3 armor charges and I can use Grenade Kickstart. I basically always have Grenade Kickstart because there's so many orbs everywhere from siphons or my teammates or supers, things like that. So, and this just helps get that grenade back so fast. It's crazy. So I find this is way more useful than losing your armor charges over time to a surge that doesn't really add anything, especially if you play with the surges of the GM. Because this is a Void Surge GM this week with Machine Gun Overcharge. So all my weapons are already overcharged, so there's no use of using any surges. The only thing that I could use an armor charge for would be to up my Discipline or Recovery or something like that, and I just find it's more useful to have more Shackle Grenades. thank you so much for watching. Seriously, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video and watch it all the way to the end if you're hearing me still. I really appreciate you spending your time checking out my content. And if you wouldn't mind, please subscribe. I'm putting out more and more stuff, getting better at editing videos and getting these out there. So I really appreciate your support. Currently trying to make the push to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, and could really use your help. Hope this build helps you clear more Grandmasters and more in-game content in Destiny 2. Peace.